Ground looks absolutely magnificent from up here, and historic day underway. Primus gets the first tap out. And they can't clear it off the cricket pitch area, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
It's an interesting ground, Lee, isn't it? I saw those stats comparing to the MCG, but it looks a lot wider. It's very much a cricket ground, and there'll be a tendency for teams to get lost on the wings.
I guess we can find that a bit deceptive without the big grandstand, so the playing surface probably looks a little bit bigger, even though it may not be. King's hand pass ineffective. Martin off the ground. That was effective, so a chance for North to run the ball forward. Abraham, not the greatest of kicks, but does get it up inside 50. A big divot taken out there by Paxman, who could have given away a free kick. The umpire lets it go. Roberts to Abraham. Not a bad hand pass. North trying to set something up. They can't. Stevens taken out. Pretty good tackle. Ball jarred free in it. And they come from all directions, and the umpire will ball it up.
Lee, just an indication of how desperate Port Adelaide can be. It just did not allow the North Melbourne players to get free use of the ball. That's the big chance they have in this game if they can close them down in close.
Interestingly, the umpire throwing it up there. Past King, Treadray a chance. Stevens, Martin, what's he doing up there? Long kick by Martin, punch away by Huskis. Picked up by Bell. Bell's kick only travels about 20 metres. Primus, big fly, couldn't complete. Sun's certainly a factor. Bond, quick kick. Abraham marks at midfield. Goes to half forward. The refrigerator's got it. Mark Roberts. Plenty on offer for him. Rock takes the mark inside 50.
Just worked it around well. It's interesting. It looks like McKernan is virtually playing centre-half back on Wade, as if there's a one-on-one type situation going there.
Carey, who is, you mentioned, Lee, has been in fantastic form of late.
There's not too many guys get a kick on Darren Mead. He's been an amazingly good player, second year in the AFL, obviously. First year with Port, experienced player, but gee, a very good defender.
Much underrated too, Lee.
Boundary throw in. Picked up by Daniels. Daniels' kick covers plenty of territory. Martin and Treadray. Treadray over the top. Abraham again, getting a couple of possessions early. Scholl, courageous mark, takes it right on 50 in front of Stevens.
Actually playing the setup with Scholl as the conventional full forward. North, Carey up, more conventional centre-half forward today, and Roberts in that part of the ground as well. Not that vacant forward 50 that North often play. Plenty of players in that part of the ground.
He's been a very good player for North Melbourne, hasn't he, Craig Scholl?
Certainly has. Equal best and fairest a few seasons back in 91. For his 19th goal of the year, he's kicked 18-7 so far. It won't be a score. Big pack of players. It's kicked through. It's a goal. First blood of the Roos.
Well, there's some dispute about it.
Paxman doesn't agree.
Stephen Paxman not happy at all, and when a player is that vigorous in his protest, you suspect there might be something.
I think we often see it happen, though, that the ball is, touched off the boot at close quarters, but unless it is really a severe touch that alters the flight of the ball, it's very hard, I think, for any of the umpires to notice the touch aspect.
Shannon Grant, the goal kicker for North Melbourne. So they've had all the play inside 50 pretty well in the first few minutes for just the one goal. And maybe Port Adelaide can get something going here through Eagleton, who likewise has been in pretty good form. They still can't get it inside 50. Pickett kicks into the man straight in front of him. Harvey got a couple of hands to it. Port desperate to get the quick goal in reply. Sock it out towards right half forward for North Melbourne. It's a foot race. Huskis and Harvey. Harvey gets there first. The boundary line is too close. And it will be thrown in front of the Jack Fingleton scoreboard, which Melbourne viewers may remember as the original scoreboard at the MCG. There it is in all its finery. Not a bad day in Canberra. Taxi driver told me this morning it was -6 degrees. I don't know whether that was right or not, but it was dashed cold. Might have been, it was minus something anyway. So Port through Dickey. The centre wing, and that's okay. Eagleton. Kick inside 50. McKernan got back. Good tackle by Pickett. It's been a feature of his play of late. The umpire says that's holding the footy. What do you reckon?
Well,
They did take on the tackle, didn't he? And then I guess the ball fell out of his hands, Cornsey.
Yeah, it looks as though that the tackle fell off, though.
Franco on the mark. Pickett's kick just outside the centre square. Plenty of North players there. Stevens intended for Grant. Takes it. He's taken the ground. Port fans looking for a holding the ball decision. There is none. Port with numbers at half-back. They try to work it away. Lyle. And that Chris fractured the cheekbone recently. So he's still wearing the head guard. Scott throws the ball out, not to his own advantage, tries to get it again. Pretty willing in the clinches, and the umpire again will bounce it just outside the centre square.
And it's obviously a little bit soft in there. You just see a few players struggling to keep their feet. The ground looks magnificent, but just areas, as Couchy said, a little bit soft underfoot.
And the umpire's throwing it up a bit too. McKernan's punch away. Hewitt gets collected, so too does Lyle. Kick comes from Dickey. Down towards half-forward. Bounce is going to be a factor. He's got
That's
the
a free kick. Yeah, John Blakey just interfering with the Shane Brewer in that charge to the ball. Interesting ploy by John Cale playing Shane Brewer. Just see the replay just on the right-hand side there, but Blakey manhandling and the umpire in a good position to see it, and more importantly made the decision.
I would have thought that the Blakey match-up on Brewer is probably good enough from North Melbourne's point of view. I think Dennis Pagan would be quite happy. Obviously, they've tried to get Martin up the field a little bit. But Blakey on Brewer, well, that's pretty good from North's point of view, I think.
Brewer kicks it goal, misses to the left-hand side. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full, so no score.
It's an important shot. You kick from 35 against a team like North Melbourne. You have to slot in, particularly Shane Brewer. He's such a skillful player.
Corey McKernan kicks in. Beautiful kick. Punch away by Martin. Franco. That's a good kick. Right into the square. McKernan at the back, off his hands, and through for a rush behind to Port Adelaide.
Yes, how long will Corey McKernan stay at centre-half back, Lee?
Yeah, I find that an interesting move. I guess the pre-game plan is to play Primus and Hewitt, or Hewitt on Primus, and when Lade goes on the ball, McKernan will go with him. But I guess McKernan's great strength has been a forward half tall player rather than a back half. So, well, I think we'll watch that dual interest.
Blakey's kick, well, not really a good one. Daniels made a little bit of a meal of the mark. So the turnover goes North Melbourne's way up towards midfield. Abraham lost it. Harvey didn't. Good hand pass out the shoulder, right on 50 and closing. 40 metres out, he goes for North Melbourne second, and also misses to the left-hand side. So first Port and now North missing goals that perhaps should have been converted.
And Brent Harvey, he cut Port Adelaide up in this first game they played at Football Park, and just showing signs with his leg speed that he could be dangerous.
Another midfield duel, Martin Pike actually showing his values on Nathan Eagleton, and I guess Pike started off as a centre-half back, didn't he? So to play as that running on-ball tagging role against a quick player like Eagleton, and it shows his athleticism.
Daniels to Francis to Blakey. Martin.
He's basic, Mick. He just grabs it and kicks it, doesn't he?
He did. Off a step to half forward. Shannon Grant gets cannoned into, taken high. He'll get a free kick.
Peter, North Melbourne are rotating at full forward with Shannon Grant, Craig Scholl and Wayne Carey taking their turn at full forward.
He's been in great form, Shannon Grant. Doesn't go for goal on this occasion. Punch away by Mead. The umpire fell over on some of the slippery turf. Mead with the job on Carey. Tries a balk. That's effective. Back to Stevens, who was collared, knocked over by Carey. Little toe poke there. Comes out to Stevens from Primus. Eagleton. Dummies. Gets around Pike. Still Eagleton. He takes him on. Outside 50.
He's run too far, Peter. Just maybe that 5 metres too far.
I think it appears that even though the ground looks perfect, the players aren't confident to bounce the ball. At the moment, they're looking like they're just wanting to cover it and kick it, as if they're not confident the ball's going to rebound off the turf up back into their hands.
Pike's kick gets to centre wing. Lyle. That's out of bounds, and it will be on the floor. So Martin Pike again with the kick for North. Match actually was a sellout, so those in the know tell us the crowd should be in the vicinity of around about 13,000. Now, can Port set something up for their first goal? Wilson at half forward, kicks off the left to a contest. Bell robes it well, gets it back to Martin, again off a step, out to Blakey. Blakey at left half back. Job on Brewer at the moment. Runs the ball out of defence. Kicks to Stevens. On to Roberts. Roberts from inside the square. That's a booming punt down towards left half forward. Carey Kicks it back. Oh, beautiful delivery from the skipper.
It was interesting. Mark Roberts got the ball in midfield. They've actually rotated Roberts into the ruck situation, and Hewitt has gone forward so that Roberts' running power around midfield against Primus's ability to lob in at that half-back line, and that was the spare guy in midfield was Roberts that set up that chain of disposals.
And a reasonable shepherd from Abraham just to get rid of Mead to allow Kerry to deliver that ball.
Evan Hewitt for North Melbourne second. Crowd likes it, and the goal umpire says it's through for 4 points.
Well, they've just made the most of those couple of chances, haven't they, North Melbourne? I must admit, I'm not positive who kicked their first goal. I wasn't sure if it was Grant or Rock even on the replay. But nevertheless, we know Hewitt kicked that one, and certainly Blakey out of defence. Certainly Abraham started up on the wing, and he's got forward against Stevens, but Carey, that ground level ability, and just a beautiful left foot pass.
Yeah, and they're looking for him too, Lee, virtually on all occasions.
Evan Hewitt getting North Melbourne's second goal. The Roos by 12 points in this historic day at Manuka Oval. Lyle's kick and the Primus knockdown. Now Dew onto his correct kicking foot, which is the left. Bombs it long, out of bounds on the full again. So the free kick to North Melbourne in the back pocket to be taken by Pickett down there.
That's an interesting pairing. Stuart Dew down there, pretty tall, big, strong man, is actually playing on Robert Scott. So he's obviously a much smaller player. That's an interesting matchup. The bigger player against the shorter running player.
I don't think there's too much difference in their size.
Is he just bigger?
He's very solid around the midriff.
Yeah.
McKernan up in front. Stevens confronted by Bell. Off a step, Lyle. Kicks to full forward. Treadray. Good use of the body.
Well, against McMartin too. I mean, you just don't often outbody Michael Martin, but Treadray, he's confident. You just watch, holds, falls back on it. Nice chest mark.
Very promising player. That's all about balance and timing, isn't it, really? Because he obviously hasn't got the body strength of Martin, but just read the flight better.
You can't teach that either. You've got to have that instinctively.
23 goals for the year to Warren Treadray. A chance for Port Power's first today. 2 shots at goal so far for a rush behind. That looks a little bit better. They have got their first.
Well, Port Adelaide haven't been blown away, which is one of the fears you have when you take on a power team like North Melbourne. They would expect to start fiercely and perhaps get 4 or 5 up before the opposition can do that. Port Adelaide have made the contest. They've had their opportunities, and Warren Treadray is a key here. You just see the kick comes in high, nothing fancy about it, and Treadray just able to out-bustle McMartin, which is very hard to do.
And the kicking action, he's just got a beautiful kicking action, precise, head over the ball, follow through. Terrific action, and a blood rule. Matthew Primus, Pete's been sent off.
On his left knee, Lee, he's got a bit of a scratch on his inside left knee, but the first goal kicked by North Melbourne was by Shannon Grant, so there was a little bit of confusion there, but Shannon Grant kicked the first goal.
Now this is interesting because Lade will now come into the ruck, and McKernan's come in with him, which means Hewitt has dropped back. Now on Lockwood. So Hewitt's going to play now defence on Lockwood, and I'm not sure whether Dennis Pagan would be wrapped in that particular matchup, but it's interesting, the cat and mouse, that's not happening.
Well, he's just matched up his big men, obviously.
It's arguable to suggest that they probably could have changed the ruckman over at this stage of the quarter anyway. Kick comes up to half forward. Now Eagleton gets around Martin. A bit of a grubber. Scott from behind, bustling Dew. And there was plenty of that around this morning. In many cases it was Frost. King from half back. Oh, booming punt down towards left half forward by the former Port boy. Chance for the Roos here. Roberts takes the hand pass from Rock. A little chip shot. Up towards Carey, gets around Mead, he's tackled him. Carey still gets a shot at goal, and it stops virtually on the line, rush through for 1 behind.
Well, Darren Mead, if he can stick to his task, he's going to have a good day, but he's not letting Wayne Carey get an easy kick, an easy approach to the ball at all. The big challenge is being able to stay with him for 4 quarters.
He plays terrific defensive percentages, doesn't he? Just knows when to spoil, knows when to play basic stuff, kick towards the boundary line. A terrifically intelligent defender.
Bond's kick. Treadray got a mid to it. Now gets another chance, fires the hand pass back to Franco. Lovely sidestep around King. Kicks wide to the right half forward flank. Marking contest down there. Won by Port. Good tap on by Wilson. Lockwood's just come onto the ground. Nearly a throw to Eagleton. Around Stevens. Still up towards full forward. Due nearly. Scott gets clear of Wilson. Lyle loses out to Abraham. Now Bell. Scott. Lade couldn't complete the mark. Brewer's there. Gives away the hand pass. Lyle again. Chance for Grant. Comes in a little bit late with the tackle and has given away the free kick.
Yes, as you
Free kick to Donald Dickey.
observed, they've certainly got into the game all right, Port, I reckon. There's just nothing in it. North got the couple of goals, but certainly Port have played just as well.
Dickey up towards Treadray. That's his second mark.
And Pete, I reckon Simon Treadray's going to worry Mick Martin, especially out at centre half forward. He's going to be a little bit more mobile. Mick loves playing in around full back where he feels more comfortable, but Treadray will be better on the ground in around centre half forward, so it's a great match up for Port Adelaide.
He's got great agility as a marking player, hasn't he, Treadray? He just doesn't look like the big, strong marker than nothing else. He just looks like he's got a bit of ground level movement.
Well, he out-bustled him before, and that time he outled him to take the grab. Chance to get Port to within a point. Might be off to the right-hand side. I don't think it's a goal. It's not. So Treadray has 1-1 against his name.
And it's wasted opportunity, isn't it? A couple of those goals for Port Adelaide. In fact, they could quite easily be in front, but if you don't kick them, they don't go on the scoreboard.
We know it's Anthony Stevens on at the full-back position. I think Michael Wilson has gone forward. He's on Stevens and dragged Stevens deep into defence.
2 shots, of course, by Port also have gone out of bounds. Now Brewer. Stevens, inside 50, on the run, he kicks and he too has missed.
A couple of sitters, aren't they? Those 2 or 3 shots that Port have missed, but that punch back from the long kick in, seen it time and time again. If you can get up and punch the ball back into that attacking 50, the attacking side seems to always have the numbers in there because they're zoning players on their own.
And Port Adelaide zoning pretty well on these kickoffs too, Lee.
Yep.
David King looks for McKernan. A little bit of a nudge in the back there. In fact, it's going to Port Adelaide, the free kick.
No, it was free against Abraham, I think.
Oh, before the McKernan incident.
Lade, who came on to replace Primus about mid-quarter via the blood rule. Martin at the back should punch, does effectively. Eagleton tries to get through a wall of players. Pickett's kick to the boundary line, won't quite get there. Bounces end on end. Chance for Dickey, goes in short. Lockwood just onto the ground, takes the mark in the pocket.
Good use, wasn't it? I guess he might have had the goals in his eyes there, Dickey, but he did see Lockwood, but he's...
now Bowen Lockwood's kicked.
He's opened up the angle maybe 15 degrees, but he's put him 30 metres outside kicking distance, I suspect.
Oh, you'd have to say, have a shot when you're that close. Oh,
Kingsley, not a bad kick. It's coming around, it's coming back. It's touched, I think, right on the line.
Well, yard outside kicking distance,
yard
I guess.
Outside. Well, the Port Adelaide players clapping it through, but it just doesn't quite carry. Just watch the replay. They didn't
really shepherd it terribly well, though. I think Treadray could have really pushed harder against Stevens' end to protect the ball over the goal line.
Over the line goes Byron Pickett. Hewitt the target. Paxman was the flyer. Scholl. Eagleton just on 50. Bends it back with a left foot. That's a great goal. Port hit the lead.
Yes, as soon as he started to curve in there onto his left foot, you thought there's a pretty good chance this one. It was always just that left foot hooking, kicking action. And he can kick the long way, Eagleton.
He's kicked 20 goals this year, and when he comes onto that left leg, you know he's got the distance. He can kick 60 metres, no doubt about that. But just watch this.
I think North have to be concluding that the long kick-in's not working for them. I think they've got to drop it short.
Yeah.
Nathan Eagleton kicks his 21st goal of the year, and Port Adelaide go to the lead by 2 points here at Manuka Oval. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Delightful conditions for footy, so the experiment so far has been a success. Simpson, quick hand pass. Harvey now on the end of it. Abraham looking for someone going through to take the hand pass. Huskis might have been taken high, in fact has been, and he will take a free kick at left half back. Won All Australian honours last year, the only Port representative to do so. So Port with their tails up now. Daniels, who certainly had a lot of the play in the last 10 minutes or so. And that's a good mark.
I reckon they've got North off the bit. Their leg speed at the moment, just at the moment, if they keep winning the ball, their leg speed is going to continually be putting on the North pressure to chase and tackle effectively.
Lockwood's kick. The two number 10s, Stevens, tries to get it over the boundary line in front of Franku. Ultimately, that is the decision.
It's interesting that Johnny Carl's elected to keep Matt Primus on the bench. He's happy with Brendan Lade as the ruckman and Bowen Lockwood in the forward line.
Brewer tries to take it on the run, gets collared for his efforts by Pickett. It's a stalemate. Well, do you think, Cornsey, they might have changed them over at the halfway mark of the quarter anyway?
They may have, but Matty Primus, it's unusual for him to be off, but I think Lade's got a couple of important touches in the centre.
He has.
And Lockwood has looked busy around the forward line, so he's happy with that balance at the moment.
Treadray and Martin go at it. Hewitt's kick intended for Bell. Might have been a high tackle there for Port, but the umpire says no. If there was a free kick, in fact, it is coming back.
That's where probably Lockwood is more agile than Hewitt, isn't he? And that's the balance that has probably just worked for Port's favour. Just 2 or 3 possessions in this last 5 minutes.
Well, Evan Hewitt's not a recognised defender at all, is he? Although you do have to be flexible in today's game.
Yeah.
Stevens kicks it out. Oh, what a screamer!
There's our man.
Lockwood, well, you just spoke about him, Cornsey, and he's taken what I'm certain will be the mark of the day.
He just judged it, didn't he? It was a big patch. He got the left leg up on
poor old Mick.
Mickey's shoulder.
Mick hasn't started with a great deal of enjoyment, but that's what forwards love. You have a run at it, the pat sits under the ball, you get your knee up on the shoulder.
Lockwood 30 metres out directly in front, kicks the goal.
Well, interesting move. Sometimes things happen in football that you don't plan. Matthew Primus off the ground with the blood rule.
It's interesting, isn't it? I guess what they've got, it was a good, terrific mark and leap and goal by Lockwood, but without Cummings, I guess, Port are quite happy to rotate their forward structure. Like Tread, I don't think they're going to play Cummings up at centre-half forward, are they?
No.
Which is what they're doing with Treadray early in this game.
Well, it would be a good day for Scott Cummings today.
3 kicks, 3 marks, and now a goal for Bowen Lockwood as Port increases its lead to 8 points. North had the play early, but Port arguably could be even further ahead. Bell, a little gift to Pike. Stevens tackled ineffective. Shaw, good grab there by Daniels. Ball jarred free at half forward. Chance for Bell again, gets clear, kicks from 52 metres, goes at goal. Abraham at the back, knocked away. Still a chance for the Roos. Abraham onto his left, snaps and misses one behind.
He missed it, but it was a classy finish. He knew what he was doing. I guess once you turn outside onto the left foot and try and hook the ball back, the percentages are against you. He maybe should have tried to come back inside.
It looked good, but there was just a touch of lair about it that didn't help the efficiency of it.
Huskis at half back in front of Harvey. 4.5 minutes remaining in the term. Bell, useful around midfield at the moment. As Port Adelaide wouldn't really mind coming here because they've only won once at the MCG, North Melbourne's normal home ground.
Well, that was the thought in Adelaide this week, Peter, as North Melbourne have surrendered the home ground advantage, and that was always going to favour Port Adelaide.
Scott to rock the two lookalikes. He kicks into the mat on the mark. That was Dew, who thumps it away. Up to Martin, long way from goal. Mickey Martin, right centre wing. Intended for Carey. Oh, Carey was coming out like a steam train there. Huskis, I'm sure, heard him.
He does that so well, though, so often.
Dew, again, onto that trusty left foot.
Oh, that's a good mark.
It is a good mark. Port go clear again. Kick up the half forward. In fact, the ball bouncing, it's going close. It won't quite be there. It goes through. Taken through by King. 4-1 behind.
How far did that kick go? Because Port Adelaide had nobody in their forward line.
He just looked up, didn't he, Treadray? Saw there was an open forward and hoped, kicked and hoped.
King, Pickett. Kicks it quickly as the clock ticks down to quarter time. Shannon Grant kicked the first goal. Out of a flurry of arms and legs in the pack. And that's out of bounds. Intended for Addison just onto the ground. The local boy who made good. Playing only 6th game of the year, had 199 up until the end of last year, but injury problems have restricted his season. And today, his first game since round 8. Melbourne earlier, just on 5 goals. Franco. Up to half forward, and Hewitt is as far as it's going. Martin barks directions at him. Goes across the ground. Stevens punches it away, only to see Scott on the end of it.
Missed target again. That's twice.
Paxman.
Missed a target.
Paxman grab. Ball shuffled out the front of the pack. Dew goes off the ground with a little toe poke to Stevens, who gets it even further downfield. You've got to retain your balance. That's hard. So North off the ground. Scholl. A bit untidy.
Yes, well, there's no easy kicks out there. Both teams making great pressure, and North Melbourne surprisingly coming wide going to their forward line, and this is a ground that you're going to get lost on if you do that.
And again, these forward structures these days virtually don't exist. The ball's on Port's wing. They've just kicked it there, and they've got no one in the forward 50, no one on the full forward line at all.
Kick came from Paxman.
Seems like it's almost the thing in footy now, Corns, not to play a full forward line, to play space as your forward target and let your forwards to come back with the flight of the ball.
It's either that or the defenders have run forward and the forward line player has to make the decision, does he stay there or go with them?
I've got a feeling they've just decided to get Martin out of there, let Treadrow run around as a half forward. Again, it looks like Eildon is the most forward player for Port at this point on Anthony Stevens. So I think... yes, the old conventional 3 on each line on the footy field. We can forget about that these days.
Somebody's going to go back to it one day, though.
One day.
Yeah, surprise everybody. Bell. Good mark to Corey McKernan. Had to stretch for that one as the ball dropped on him pretty quickly. Gets a call to play on. He does so to Mark Roberts, who marks in front of Daniels. Roberts goes short. Gee, some of the field kicking today has left a little bit to be desired. Didn't give Abraham really much of a chance there. Franco offloads it to Paxman, kicks around Pike, who goes for the boundary line. Not too many options open for him there, and it will be thrown in front of the
out of bounds top spinner, wasn't it?
Look, and significantly, North Melbourne going short on a lot of occasions now. They lead the league in the number of long kicks. They're just fiddling around with it through the midfield.
I think one of the things that Port are doing is actually dropping their ruckman back in the defensive 50, which means North have got the extra player across midfield. The temptation is to use that guy, and at the moment they've just missed 3 or 4 times. Kicks have gone astray.
Lee, just on ground level, Port Adelaide look a little bit sharper and a little bit quicker than North Melbourne. They've missed a target twice going into the forward line.
Martin contests the ruck duel. Roberts cool. Martin tried to go off the ground. Pickett. Pike. Don't argue. Back to Winston Abraham. Around Stevens. Long kick into the goal square. Might have gone through. No, it hasn't. Ball still in play. Simpson kicks it back. Intended for Shannon Grant. Now, is that 50? Dickey looking for it. Umpire says no. In fact, the umpire tells him how to play on. Out to Fabian Francis at right half back. Last few seconds of the opening quarter. It's all North Melbourne on centre wing. Harvey's got it. Over the top. Allison. Allison's kick out in front of goal. Shannon Grant robes it well. Applies a tackle. Primus, or Paxman it was, underneath it. Huskus. Stevens over Harvey. Fabian Francis. Hewitt claims the mark, and the umpire says, OK, it's yours.
Yes, a bit scrappy. Both teams missing the target too often with their kicks.
Now the siren just about to sound. In fact, there it is. Now he's played on, hasn't he? I thought he went around the mark.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, once you've actually played on and the siren's gone, play's ended.
No, the umpire didn't call play on, though. He should have. He did not call. When he moved off the line, he should have called the play on, but he didn't do that.
Anyway, it wasn't a score, so it's no argument, really. But I'm sure John Russo would have jumped in there. Quarter time, Port Adelaide, 8 effective shots at goal. They also kicked a couple out of bounds that really they should have nailed. But despite that fact, they hold a handy lead. 3-5-23 to 2-3-15. Well, it's a good question.
Now we've got the standard North set up at the start of this quarter.
Started the second term, Port Adelaide leading by 8 points over the well-fancied North Melbourne here today. Roberts couldn't take the hand pass. Stevens, quick kick out of the congestion. Simpson, likewise quickly, tries to get it down to Carey. Got a finger out to it from Mead. Good tackle. Came from Bond. Shannon Grant. Oh, gets nailed, a push in the back against Mead, and Shannon Grant will take the free kick about 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, you've got to control your aggression, don't you? It's too easy just to be so desperate to tackle or get to the contest. He just basically fell on top of him, didn't he, Mead?
You lose your balance.
You have to hold your feet, don't you, and just stand off them a little.
And Shannon Grant has an amazing accuracy rate this year.
Yeah.
30 goals, 7. That's about 80%. Well, let's see if he can
Great
do
converter.
31 goals, 7 now, because he got the first in the first quarter from that blanket of players in the goal square. So a chance for his second, and to bring North Melbourne within a kick. Goal umpire hasn't moved, it's a goal.
Yeah, good start for North Melbourne. They just wanted to regain that momentum, and as Lee pointed out, the 50-metre area was completely clear except for Wayne Carey and Darren Mead right at the point of it. The ball comes in, and Carey breaks free, but good commitment here from Shane Bond. And unfortunately, Darren Mead, desperate, just falls.
Might have got away with the first one, but the second one was blatant, wasn't it?
It looks as though he tried to keep himself off the ground with his arms, but the umpire said it was a push in the back.
Second goal of the match to Shannon Grant. Difference back to 2 points now here at Monaco. Primus out of the centre, and you'll see Winston Abraham in the road. A very open North Melbourne forward line. Carey tried to bustle his way to the front. Scholl does successfully do it. Harvey, well, bounce is going to be a factor here. Allison with the new look hairstyle goes to ground looking for the free kick. The umpire wasn't Condo on that occasion. Grant, quick hand pass intended for Hewitt or Roberts. The latter off the left goes at goal, and he has put it through. It's there. Well, that was something out of nothing, really.
Well, how often does he do it, though?
Yes, we've got this interesting situation. I guess there's a new position that Wayne Carey plays. I reckon that old soccer tube centre forward's about where he plays. He's playing just inside the 50-metre mark, and then he's got 4 half forwards about 10 metres further up the ground, just spaced behind, and there's going to be a lot of balls flowing into that area.
Two goals in 90 seconds to North Melbourne, and the Roos back in front early in the second quarter. So what Dennis Pagan had to say at quarter time has certainly, so far at least, paid dividends. Quick kick by Kingsley. Doesn't get the ball out of the centre square, and North may be able to regain possession. King can to Pickett around Stevens. Chance to Steady. On to Roberts, the goal kicker, and what a great goal it was to put North Melbourne back in front. Carey will mark this in front of Mead.
Yes, well, Port Adelaide just haven't reacted quickly enough. As Lee's pointed out, Carey's playing right out the front now. Port Adelaide have to get players in defence.
I reckon
back behind.
You decide what are you going to do. Do you actually drop a spare man back?
You have to get.
And this is, I think, a tactic that North have been doing now for the last month or two, and I've yet to see a defensive response that looks like it's going to prevent it working.
Goal umpire hasn't moved, right over his hat. 3 goals for the quarter.
Well, they have reacted, and I think, Lee, that's the factor. I mean, you just cannot allow that much space for a player who is so talented and mobile, and maybe a coach has to work out about playing a defensive zone.
Well, I wonder. Let's see what's happening. They've dropped a spare player back. Daniels is now going to drop back and play on his own in that defensive 50, and Roberts will run back and try and drag him out of the centre corridor. So a little cat and mouse is going to start here.
Well, now Port Adelaide have
3 goals in under 3 minutes to North Melbourne to start the second quarter, and the Roos lead by 10 points.
Yes, interesting manoeuvring in Port Adelaide's defence at the moment.
Primus and Hewitt, won by the former. Wilson's kick ineffective. And again, this is a better one. Martin in the road in front of Treadray.
Has he played on? Did he look as though he was wanting to jog off and play on then, Peter?
Very close, very close. Not Rock, it's Scott. Brings it back to Blakey. Started on Brewer in the first quarter. Brings it across the goal again. Now, they really haven't gained too much. McCurden's got the mark. There's in short. Pickett's going to have to be quick. Nearly run down there by Franco. And the mark intercepting at midfield is Donald Dickey. Treadray out in front of Martin. Oh, has he taken the mark?
He paid it, yeah.
He's paid it, yes. Nicky Martin not happy about that.
Little force. This is where we talk about this north forward setup, where the centre bounces are important, because if the ball goes in there quickly, there's all the space. But I think if the centre bounces go Port's way, Primus will then probably try and drop back and play as a tall player around the Carey area.
But, North Melbourne's use of the ball pretty much on the whole today has not been good coming out of defence through centre.
He's about 60 metres out, Treadray. Blakey, read it perfectly, was the only player there to really have a ping at that.
Yeah, Lade did the shepherding, but Brewer was just watching what was happening, and Blakey peeled off Brewer and marked it on his own.
Good player, John Blakey. Good player.
Won the Big V this year. Just reward, I think. Really illustrious career, and initially with Fitzroy. Bond taken high. The umpire lets it go. Dickey, in fact, he didn't let it go.
Played about it. Yeah, he went to play advantage, but sensibly he's brought it back.
Now he's too far out to score. We say a kick and a half from goal. Make that about a kick and a quarter in this case. Big punch away by Roberts, who's already got himself on the goal scoring board so far this quarter. But North's defence equal to the occasion. Scott's kick towards midfield. Ford again. Primus missed the mark. Stevens won't. Plays on quickly. Goes at goal and misses to the right-hand side. So one behind.
Now, I wonder if we get a shot at that goalpost. He missed quite dramatically, but I tell you what, if it was close, that post leans in by about a metre at the top. A bit like that one at Victoria Park that used to
Yes, not exactly perpendicular.
Like the point post that you cleaned up at Windy Hill one day, Barney. Primus in front, Blakey behind. Off a step, kicks towards centre wing. That's as far as it's going, and Marcus dragged down by Stephen Daniels.
A good mark. He had to look right into the sun. The sun is actually a bit of a problem here for those players, but he kept his eyes on it.
Daniels kick to half-forward Treadray in front. Martin punches from behind. Bell around Lyle. Peter Bell's kick, winner of the Moss Medal this year. Carey might have lost sight of that in the sun. Dickey to half-forward. Over the head of Stevens, clean bowls a couple more. Stevens butters up for a second grab, gets the hand pass away. McKernan decides to take them on, this big Corrie. Looks for Simpson, finds him on centre wing.
2 on 1 out here.
Shannon Grant makes the pairing. Grant from half forward.
2 on 1 here as well.
Oh, big fly from Scholl, couldn't complete it. Allison, the hometown boy, kicks a goal.
Yes, they did get in there quick, North Melbourne, in both that contest out on their half-forward flank and the contest in front of goal. They had 2 players to Port Adelaide's 1, and in both cases, that was the second player, Grant, who got the ball. Scholl was the jumper. See Allison at ground level. As soon as it came to ground, there was no Port player in the vicinity at all, and it became a very easy goal. They do run back hard to North Melbourne.
Playing only his 6th game for the year, Brett Allison, and that's 4 unanswered goals so far in this term to North Melbourne. He really answered the challenge quickly after trailing by 8 points at quarter time. King down to half forward, a marking contest. Daniels gets it back to Mead, a little fumble, might give Roberts the chance. Has to backpedal. Now the umpire's found a free kick here. It's going North Melbourne's way, and I think Roberts is going to take it. Maybe got a nudge in the back, did he, in that exchange?
I just have to see the replay, Peter. I didn't pick it up at the time.
Cornsey, Matthew Bode's come on for Stuart Dew's come off.
Okay.
The refrigerator. Carey. Mead caught out of position there.
Well, then you'd wonder how.
Yeah, it was a long way away, certainly on that that turnover free kick.
Free kick here, and well, Stephen Daniels a bit undisciplined, perhaps you can say, or...
He was trying to shepherd, but it was an unintelligent shepherd, wasn't it?
I think you are allowed to push in the side, but he just got around the back. And Wayne Carey just sneaking away from Darren Mead, really for the first time today.
Carey's already kicked 1 for the quarter.
It's a lazy-looking kick, wasn't it? It was just a few steps, leant back, and when you lean back, you'll normally pull the ball left as the leg goes across the body. The kicking leg goes from right to left.
Brent Harvey off and Anthony Rock on.
Thanks, Couchy. So a little bit of breathing space for Port. Paxman, short of half-back. Francis, Mead, back to Francis. They share it around. Lockwood. In fact, it's Huskis. Dickey in front of King on centre wing. So Port badly lead a goal. They've been totally outplayed in this quarter. Blakey punches to the front.
And Peter, Corey McKernan copped a real rocket from Dennis Pagan at quarter time, so he's certainly stirred up. And as you saw the play before, he bounced and took off. He looked a little bit lethargic the first quarter, but he's certainly got his act together now.
It was his little palm out that got the ball out of bounds there. Dickey from behind. Can't get it away from Martin Pike. Bode there, number 25, just onto the ground.
It's interesting. Stuart Dew has gone off the ground. He had 4 kicks in the first half, and Dew, with his penetration and goal kicking, is an interesting player to be on the bench for Port Adelaide, because they don't have a lot of instinctive goal kickers in their forward line.
McCurtain to Bell, intercepting is Eagleton. Abraham reads it best. Pickett's there. He might have got a nudge in the back or being held. Whichever way, he's got the free kick.
He's been a very good player for North this year.
Blakey, Allison, big cheers for him in front of the hometown crowd. Kick left a little bit to be desired. Scholl took off again but couldn't mark it. Carey, Allison won't get his second. Might set it up to Stevens. Rockets the ball forward. Looked almost like a torp the way he kicked it, but he's missed to the right-hand side and one behind.
Peter, the kick was all right. Just Craig Scholl couldn't see the sun there. He just ducked his head
fair
there.
enough, Catchy, yeah.
The sun's going to play havoc because it's quite low in the sky, and the ball's coming directly out of the sun for those people, for that team that's kicking to the right-hand side of the screen.
A few clouds building up out to the left, so we might get some cloud cover perhaps by half-time.
Now the big torp down the middle. You don't see it too often. Hasn't quite got onto it.
Paxman in front or behind. Franco. Pickett was there by both sides, yep.
And that's something you like. The Byron Pickett diving on the ball. There's some people involved in footy want to outlaw that part of the game where the players displays their desperation, but how can you stop a player instinctively wanting to get after the ball?
Been terrific. Pickett played all 17 games. Only played 1 game prior this year.
So, no doubt about that.
And he does like the physical contact, Byron Pickett. When there's a bump to be laid, he's quite happy to lay it.
Well, for someone not that big, he gives it beautifully. A bit like Ross Lyon used to do with Fitzroy.
Well, nearly a great steal there by Winston Abraham, and he comes up with the footy. Good second go at the ball. Abraham kicks back to half forward. Stevens has got the mark in front of Wilson. Gets it moving quickly. Mead at the back. Tried to punch the ball clear. Lyle. Donald Dickey at right half back. Stevens from Wilson. Good contest. Stevens has won it.
He's paid it to Wilson.
He has.
Yep. Anthony Stevens doesn't often show dissent. But Wilson holding it long enough, the umpire says.
Rising star winner. McKernan in the middle of the pack. Oh, over the top. Is that a mark taken down there by Francis? The umpire says no.
Play on.
And King looking for a holding the man decision. Scott quickly. Paxman in the road in front of Allison. Transfers play to this side of the ground. Stevens. They can gather the ball. Good shepherd by Primus. Pass left a little bit to be desired. Delayed, who takes it out of bounds about 60 metres from
that
goal.
Stevens' choice to go outside onto his left foot rather than curl back into the centre corridor and really open up the forward line.
There's too much space outside, and your temptation is to go outside when it's just not efficient.
Rock.
Did well.
Hard ball. Grant. Good mark. That might be 50. No, it's coming back, is it? Yes. If it wasn't 50 and he played on, I can't see a problem there.
You could actually, he took the mark. It wasn't a free kick.
Anyway, Shannon Grant looks for Scholl. Oh, gee, that's a free kick.
Well, I wonder. I'd love
He
to
might
see
have paid the mark, actually. I think he, even though he only held it for a split second, I think the umpire has said that he controlled the ball. Certainly it was momentary.
He's allowed to take the ball. I
think he paid the mark. I think he signalled the mark, not the free kick.
He did come in pretty hard, though. One behind.
You are allowed to come in hard, Peter.
Yes.
if the ball's within 5 metres. Lee?
Not in the marking contest, you're not. If you try, they actually do, and I think it's fair enough if a player who's got the arms outstretched and trying to mark the ball, he's given a lot of protection now, much more than he would if he was picking the ball up off the ground. That's for sure.
18 points the margin. North trailed at quarter time by 8 points. Lockwood preparing to come back on, took a screamer in the first quarter. And we were surprised to see him start on the bench in the second term. Anyway, that's what Jack Cale wanted. Wants a few goals now. Maybe Brewer can give him one here. He's got clear of King. Martin in best position, nearly a second chance. Blakey took it off him. Runs into trouble. Treadray a chance to take the errant hand pass. And that's holding the ball.
Yes, I think that was probably a good call. He got tackled then, Blakey, but I think we'll see in the replay, he puts out, as he gets tackled, the ball comes clear and he puts out the left hand. Let's have a look at this.
I think
the left hand comes back in.
No, the umpire paid pushing the back, Lee, because when he ran in, he was sort of tapping his backside.
Yeah, I thought he played holding the ball because I think that Blakey just put the hand out and scooped it back in, and when that happens, well, if you don't get rid of it,
he was actually tapping his back as he ran in.
Yeah,
so.
I think that just means it's mine.
Oh, okay.
I think in umpires speak, he's saying to the other umpires, it's mine.
It means my something.
It means luck, doesn't it? Fabian Francis has got the kick. No luck in this.
And laid off.
You know, he's got underneath it a little bit, won't quite get the distance. McKernan, did he get a fingernail to it? Touch through, or rush through for a behind to Port Adelaide.
Isn't it the difference between this quarter particularly, I guess over the whole game, North's ability to finish from their scoring opportunities relatively easily, whereas Port are really working hard for their scores, be it that they've missed 3 or 4 chances just purely through inaccuracy.
And Mick Martin just actually working his way back in against Warren Treadray too, I think has made a difference.
Difference back to 17 points as King kicks in. Lockwood got up high again. That's a free kick to Shannon Grant. Be against Kingsley.
You just have to take them low in the tackling. Just neglected to do that.
Kicked the first goal in both quarters so far. Son a factor there, and that's why Huskis dropped the mark. You can see he had his hand up. Allison goes at goal. Might bounce one through. He has. Got his second for the quarter.
Well, he does it all the time. Every time I see Brett Allison play, he just pops up with important goals. He's just got an uncanny goal sense, deceptive left leg, good quick legs, and just see here how the sun does affect the contest.
It's really affecting this game more than we see this time of year anywhere, I think, around the country. As you say, the angle of the sun very low in the sky, getting in players' eyes quite regularly.
Brett Allison getting his second goal for the term to increase North Melbourne's lead. 23 points, and that's the biggest it's been in the match to date. McKernan to Pike. Ruse out of the centre again. Carey a chance. Brushes Bond onto the right foot and snaps, but misses to the left-hand side. And one behind. Kicked by the
McKernan gone into the ruck now that Lade's gone off. Now that there's no Hewitt, is they preferring Hewitt to play defence on Lockwood, and McKernan in the ruck v Primus.
Well, you wouldn't have been unhappy with Brendan Lade's rucking performance and with the setup there with Lockwood in the forward line, but they just made the straight swap for Lockwood, where Lockwood for Lade, which perhaps leaves them just a little bit short in their forward line.
Daniels to Bond. Kingsley. Taylor-made for big Corey McKernan.
Oh, he had his name all over, didn't he?
Yep.
Good news for North. Just the fact that he read the ball in the air and leaped at it. It looks like his timing is just troubling him the last month or two. He's still not really able to judge the ball in flight.
Carey lost it in the contest. Rock roves it well. Kicks up towards full forward, and Scholl, who's been the target down there. Allison, a good bump, got rid of him. Scholl again. Out of bounds in North Melbourne's right forward pocket. It's about 20 metres from the behind post.
Yes, well, Rock is off for Harvey, who looked busy in the first quarter.
Stuart Dew preparing to come back on.
And Cornsey, they looked a little bit balanced when Matthew Primus was off the ground, didn't they?
It's a hard thing to say about a player, but yes, they certainly did.
I've got a feeling on this big ground, the way Primus drops back in defence, he's having trouble getting back there quick enough, because this is a very long ground here.
Good gather by Wilson. Gets it again at the second attempt, back to Bond. Now Stevens to Eagleton. Port trailing by 4 goals. They've got to get a couple before half-time. Up towards full forward. I don't see Scott in the road around Lockwood. But a good smother gets the ball at least out of bounds. So they've retained possession in their forward pocket with the scoreboard reading 7-7 to 3-7.
One point, Conji, I often think that the speed of your ruckman actually has a fair bit to do with the speed of your team. I mean, you almost ignore your ruck position as in terms of how quick or slow your team is, but I think a late in the ruck against Primus does speed Port up a little comparatively.
Martin from Treadray, snapped by Franco, might have been touched anyway, goes through from behind.
Now, Stuart Dew has come onto the ground. Stephen Daniels has gone off, and Stuart Dew's gone straight to Brett Allison, which is a pretty good matchup, I would have thought. Allison is looking dangerous.
King.
His leg speed.
Gee, that's a good kick. McKernan, on his own, missed it. So biffs it further forward, finds Simpson. Simpson to Pike. Good Shepherd keeps an opponent at bay. That's well delivered. Paxman should punch from Shannon Grant. Must retain balance. Grant does, but he's got to beat 2. Dew sees the ball safely over the line for the throw-in.
He does find his way back into that forward line, Shannon Grant. I think we've said many times what a good finisher he is, but he sets up the opportunities. He really runs extremely hard from midfield forward when there's a chance to get on the end of a forward thrust. I wonder whether North might concern whether he runs as hard back into defence when he has to.
Primus and Roberts. Grant kicks and hits the post.
Gee, there wasn't much urgency around Port Adelaide's defence there.
For a tight ball.
2 goals, 1 to Shannon Grant.
Maybe they knew something we didn't.
24 points the margin. 6.5 minutes
It's
to
one of those strange games. I haven't seen anyone go short at all from the kicking. It's just all been going long, both teams.
Good old-fashioned footy, Barney.
Yeah.
Mead over the top. His opponent, Carey, though, gets it. Back to Peter Bell. Now, which way is that going to bounce? Beats Eagleton. Bounces better for Allison. Allison to Roberts. Around Paxman. Roberts goes at goal. He's kicked another one. He's third for the quarter.
He's missed it, I think.
Oh, has he? Yes, he has.
I've got to say, they are going long in old-fashioned football, but it is getting bounced back straight back into their forward zone. So I wonder whether either of these kicks are going to... Well, there's a short now. I think finally we've started to try and work the ball out of defence rather than just blast it.
Well, Port missing their captain, Gavin Wanganeen, today, who is out injured.
Now,
On centre wing, mark taken by Nick Stevens. Goes inboard to Franco. Lyle says go, and he does. Wilson nearly. Scott to Pickett to Stevens.
a torpedo pass.
Anthony Stevens brings it up towards the centre of the ground. Simpson. Bell. Roberts. Back to Bell. Work it around well, the Roos. Martin Pike. Clear of Lyle, who came at him just a little bit late. Courage needed here, and the mark taken by Adam Huskis.
Well, they worked it so well. The kick was just not good enough for Pike.
They're breaking down, aren't they, up there? North Melbourne just keep peppering the goals, and they come back again. Abraham to Roberts. Gee, he's been a thorn in their side. Runs into Shannon Grant. Huskis subsequently pings him. The umpire lets it go. That was nearly a throw, actually. Simpson did well to read it. Quick kick off the boot. Ball in the back. Paxman nearly. McKernan. Hand pass over the top. Carey. Simpson off a step. Long left footer. It's going close. He's got it. That is a goal.
Well, they've made hard work of it. Let me tell you, they had so much of the ball there. A couple of long shots. Simpson, Adam Simpson, very good goal kicker. Only 5 goals this year, but he just seems to know where they are.
They look like they've got more players on the ground, don't they, the last 10 minutes. North are just running harder now in this second quarter, and wherever the ball goes, there seems to be an extra 1 or 2 North players. That's what the game's all about, isn't it?
As long as they don't overuse the ball.
So North Melbourne enjoying a lead of 31 points, the biggest margin in the match to date. Port goalless so far in the second quarter. It's been all North.
Look at they must seriously considering getting Lade on in the ruck instead of Primus. I mean, they had a good patch in the first quarter when Lade was in the ruck, when Primus had to be came off with the blood rule. I just think at the moment, the way this game's going, they've got to change it some way, Port. Otherwise, there's a loss heading up here.
Bond to Allison, who chipped in beautifully across half forward. He'll get it to Grant, who marks in the forward pocket in front of Bond. Has he played on?
No,
Must have gone close. He has now shot.
Ooh, he did have Harvey running to the goal square. Wanted to use him, but couldn't. But it's that space behind centre half forward lead that's causing all the problem for Port Adelaide.
They just keep getting back there, don't they?
They're just running into it, and they're looking to kick.
So while he's having to kick for goal, Shoal, let's put the coaching cap on. What could you do? Do you just have to play a spare guy back there without a specific man responsibility? What's your thinking on it?
You have to play. I think you've got to play 2 players back there that are accountable for zones.
Shoal's got the goal.
And then it needs a fair bit of discipline in the midfield. It needs a fair bit of preparation, though, because you have wings and half-back flankers who have to do an extra amount of coverage so that those loose players aren't used.
We see how the great Grant's been able to get back into the space there, because there's all this space behind. His utilisation of the vacant space on the full forward line. Certainly, again, North are making it work extremely well, be it that Carey today isn't the player that's really the driving focus point.
In fact, Mead's done very well.
He has.
Carey.
7-6 to 3 behind so far in this quarter, so a match-winning term by North Melbourne, if in fact they are to win the match. McKernan out of the centre, but short only to Bond.
And we notice that Lade is on, of course, now. Prime has been interchanged.
Dew to Lade. Lade at right centre wing. Kingsley in trouble from Pickett, has to go to Wilson. Squares the ball inboard to Franco from the edge of the square. Martin punches effectively from Treadray and sees the ball safely out of bounds.
Yeah, Sandy, Mick Martin loves playing at full back, and they should move Matheson forward, and maybe put Bowen Lockwood full forward and leave Treadray out at centre forward against Mick Martin.
I think you said Sandy there, Couchy. Sandy's not here.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Quick snap. Fabian Francis.
Oh, he's missed everything.
He has. Almost a hospital kick, that one. Kick came from Winston Abraham.
The poise of Abraham and
Bell.
They don't look hurried, do they? They always look like they've got plenty of time to think their way through.
Robert Scott. Shannon Grant.
North Melbourne using the ball short through the centre more than I've ever seen them use it.
I think they all zoned back then, the Port defenders. That was interesting. They actually allowed their opponents to go upfield and just played back and protected the 50-metre area, which they do pretty well at times.
Huskers to Stevens. Across half-back. Port still goalless in this second quarter and the clock ticking down to half-time. Wilson gets it to half-forward. Maybe they can get something from Lockwood. On to Bode, the left footer goes and he kicks their first goal of the quarter.
Well, yes, to say they needed that's an understatement. North in this quarter have kicked 7 goals and have been terrific. Port have just stagnated a bit. They've been getting a little bit of the ball up the field, but just it's almost the only really goal-scoring chance. A couple of rush behinds, but
and Lockwood involved in that movement again. He had a fair bit of work to do to take the mark, and Matty Bode with his left foot, he's energetic, gets the ball, gets in and under, and finishes well too.
Matthew Bode kicking Port's first goal for the quarter. South Australian under-18 representative a couple of seasons back, and not a bad cricketer either. Played cricket in England during last year, so one of your all-round good sportsmen. But boy, did they need that. North Melbourne go into attack again. Scholl. Well, they could have raffled that one. Hewitt gets it down to his teammate in Pickett off the ground, 1 behind.
Well, that made a behind out of a goal, didn't it? I must say, when the ball went to Shannon Grant, it was only a matter of him taking possession and it was a goal. But somehow or other, he just didn't take the ball first touch. Maybe the sun might have got in his eye a bit at that angle.
But ominously, again, Lee was able to get behind the defensive line.
Yeah. You've almost, your defenders in this setup almost have to play behind, don't they?
Well, they do, and move up. You see the offside track in soccer. You've got to almost set up like that.
Protect the goal-scoring space and allow your opponent to play front position, but a kick out from goal.
And I think that's why there's so many loose North Melbourne players, perhaps running between centre and half forward.
Stevens has the free kick. Paxman in front. Scholl behind. Claims it, but not the mark. Snapped by Simpson and 1 behind.
Well, for a young man who hasn't played a lot of football, it's his 12th game this year. He's just, to me, always appears to be dangerous. can take a big grab when it's there to be taken.
33 points the margin. Adam Huskis in front of the player you were speaking about, Cornsey, Simpson. Thought about giving it to Paxman, then decides to go a little bit longer to Mead, who does the job in front of Carey.
There's plenty of space out there. They've just got to start working it back through the centre, however.
Can they get another one before half-time, Port? They would dearly love one. Wilson onto Bond. Bond from right centre wing. Bode tries to tap it to the advantage of a teammate, but none was going past. It's left to Johnny Blakey to get it back to Roberts. Back to Blakey. Maybe he's going to kick one before the siren goes. Allison was his target. Brewer came at him. Allison back to Scholl, who loves a goal. Scholl from outside 50. No one home.
Adelaide was back there then, yeah.
Well, no one home for North Melbourne. Eagleton on centre wing. Martin and Treadray nearly took the mark after Mick had a pretty big screen. Back to Bode. Can he get his second for the quarter? This time on the right. But the siren is gone. And so Port goes in with just a 1 goal for the term. Kicked by that young man on screen, Matthew Bode, who came off the bench to kick it. And North Melbourne kicking 7 goals. 8.
Oh, it's a big quarter, isn't it?
Is a big
Anticipation we had of cold, snow, sleet. It's turned out to be one of the most magnificent days you could ever imagine here in Australia.
33 points is the margin as we begin the second quarter. This historic day in Canberra. Not a historic bounce, it was pretty terrible. Harvey read it okay.
So why shouldn't you recall a bounce like that, Lee?
Well, seems a lot of logic in it, doesn't there?
I think the bounce is part of the game, though, isn't it, really? Brewer.
Not those shockers.
No, true enough. Johnny Blakey's had a good game from the centre square or the edge of it. Kicks up towards full forward. Simpson nearly couldn't quite complete the mark. Lyle. Abraham has got it. Did he keep it in play? I think he did. Harvey loves a goal. Tries to bend it back, but succeeds in putting it through.
I think ambitious was a fair description for that kick.
Left foot check side on the run. Not a high percentage.
Well, they've certainly shared the goal kicking around North Melbourne. They've kicked 9 goals and they've had 7 goal kickers.
Initially, Port have actually started with a similar setup that they finished the half with Lade in the ruck and Treadray and Lockwood, the 2 key forwards.
Due to Lyle to McCurtain, whose kick is up and under. Paxman in the middle. Simpson punched away by Huskis. Brewer takes the hand pass. Stevens blocked in his run at it. Tries to shuffle it out. Simpson was there. A little give to Shannon Grant. Roberts in front. Could have almost been a free kick to Dew. The umpire lets it go. Now he's called the advantage. Stevens. Kingsley looking for options. Decides to take on a couple.
Oh, lovely.
That's a beautiful kick. Lockwood's got it.
The advantage rule just poorly interpreted by the umpire. Every player stops. One player keeps running with the ball. The umpire says play on.
Yeah, I hate the advantage rule, I must say. Once you train from the time you first start playing footy to stop when the whistle goes. Everyone looks at the umpire and then the attacking team's off with the ball. Oh, we'll play it on.
Lockwood took a screamer earlier. Gee, that's on its way. Oh, he's got it. That is a great kick. Terrific goal.
And Bowen Lockwood just adding some bite to this Port Adelaide forward line. He did it in the first quarter. He started the third quarter deep in the forward pocket. He and Treadray, the 2-pronged attack. You see everybody stop. The umpire's called play on. And Kingsley running, looks up, but the kick, the delivery here is magnificent. Low. Lockwood runs straight onto it and kicks through.
Great kick at goal. And he's drilled it. Darren Lockwood becoming the first multiple goal kicker for Port Adelaide, and just what Jack Cale would have ordered to start the third quarter. 5-8 to 11-12. So Port still in this. Lade. Now that kick will bring rain. It's a 45-metre kick, 22.5 up and 22.5 down. Wilson had it, lost it. Pike goes off the ground or tries to get it to King. King good enough to pick it up. Lovely balk. Well, you've got to keep your footing. McKernan couldn't do that. Simpson might have given away a free kick for in the back. The umpire lets it go. Finally shuffled at the top. McKernan gets a nice bounce from Paxman. Harvey going with the flight of the ball. That was a courageous mark.
Lyle, just look at him and watch him mark it. I'd like to see that in the replay. It looked like Lyle. I thought I had to look twice to see whether he was on the same team. He just...
There is some confusion between the Guernseys with the amount of white in it, but I'm just not sure whether Braden Lyle...
Just maybe, I guess players are nervous at arriving late at marking contests now. Yeah, he just seemed to watch Harvey mark the ball from only a couple of metres away, I thought.
A couple of leads there, first of all by Roberts, and then Winston Abraham. He's within kicking distance, Harvey. Likes a goal. May have missed to the left-hand side, I think. Or is it out of bounds?
Peter?
Behind.
Matthew Promise has got a strained groin and a corky on his right leg.
Thanks, Couchy. So Harvey gets his second behind of the day.
Let's have a look at this quickly, the replay. That's Braden, yeah. I thought he looked at him. I don't know why.
Kick comes up to centre wing. The umpire's found a free kick going to Port Power. Being taken by Nash, I think. Yep. First touch for the day. He started on the bench from 4 to 3. Nash to Brewer. Eagleton in front of Byron Pickett. Into the pocket, Lockwood again. As long as it's inside the boundary line, that's a good grab, and the umpire says it's okay.
Well, the kick was good. It was wide, but Lockwood ran onto it. His hands are good today. You see the wrapped him right around it. One grab, so it can't be out of bounds at all.
Kingsley.
Let's have a look at the way he's holding the ball. I think he's just going to run out and try and hook it back. This is interesting.
Banana ball.
But what angle does it play on occur?
Tries to hook it back. I think he's hooked it back too much.
You don't see that often, do you? They're actually starting, so you're actually going to run and kick it at right angles.
Is there some adjustment to the rule when he's outside the boundary line now that even if he is called play on?
Well, when does play on occur? I mean, because he's obviously not on the
line. When you move off the line.
Well, he's never on. He starts off the line, doesn't he, really?
Yes, he does.
Johnny Blakey takes the kick in, and he too goes long. We've seen a lot of that today. McKernan not able to get an effective disposal. Eagleton, quick up towards full forward. Martin, Franco, quick snap with the left. That's not bad. Oh, hit the post. No luck for the Power.
Well, they've started well.
Looking a bit better.
They've started with some enthusiasm. I mean, that's all you can ask the team to do, respond when they've been down. And Port Adelaide have this reputation of being able to drag themselves back into games when they look like they're down and out.
They never chuck in the towel, Cornsey, do they? Certainly something we've learned that they do a lot. Kernan tried to mark from behind, couldn't complete it. Brewer trying to find his teammate down there in Donald Dickey. That was unsuccessful, and the bounce will take place about 55 metres from goal. 27 points the margin. Good crowd here today. It was a sellout, so as Greg Miller told us at half-time, around about 12 to 13,000 fans in at Manuka Oval today. Lockwood, Eagleton, inside 50, kicks well with the left as a rule, and dodges another one. Great goal. Well, he's kicked 2 goals, and they've been pretty similar, Cornsey, haven't they?
Well, he just loves wheeling onto that left boot. And just watch Lockwood here. Just Lockwood over the top. Does he see him there? I think he does.
Good effective.
And inside 50 now, Nathan Eagleton is drilled inside
balance?
50. Just go for goal, son. Well,
they're alive again, aren't they?
They certainly are.
They've certainly started this quarter well.
12 kicks and 2 goals to Nathan Eagleton. So inside the first few minutes of the third quarter, it's been a good start by Port. As North started the second quarter, so too Port Adelaide the third. Dickey's kick up towards centre wing. Vital possession here. Eagleton to Stevens. Stevens from right on 50. But he's missed the major part of the prize and one behind only.
And that was a critical goal too. He put out there with great momentum. That puts them back within 2 goals in a game that's still got almost 2 quarters to play.
Of course, in the first quarter, they missed a lot of shots up there, didn't they?
When they had the chance. I mean, admittedly, North missed a few in the second quarter, but yeah, when you're behind, you've got to make the most of your chances if you're trying just to draw level again.
Laid. Well, the sun may be a factor. Franco takes a few of them on. Brewer's hand pass. Kingsley I think he's missed, or has he? Crowd sort of...
No, he hasn't.
No, he got it.
Well, it wasn't convincing, Peter, but the goal umpires put up 2 fingers. And Port Adelaide now, right back in this game.
Well, it's almost like it's back to the first quarter,
Yeah,
where
right.
Port Adelaide's speed is beginning to trouble. And I must say, I say it again, I reckon Lade's mobility are in the ruck position and Lockwood on accordingly. It just makes them look a little bit quicker, and all of a sudden the advantage in leg speed has started to enable them to get some shots at goal again.
And that is 2-10 behind. But trying to decipher the Jack Vingleton scoreboard.
14 points.
Yes.
14 points.
14 points the margin on the Jack Fingleton scoreboard here at Monaco Oval. And a great game of footy it's turned out. Blakey. North, we thought we were going to run away with it during the second quarter. That could have almost been a free kick to the power for on the shoulder. But that's a throw. Well, they get away with it. Shannon Grant takes it a little bit further, gets it to Harvey. Now, did that travel the required distance? According to the umpire, it did, and Mark Roberts has been paid the mark, about 45 metres from goal, on about a 60-degree angle.
And I guess you can't do it always. The Port Adelaide defence are making sure they're covering the space behind, so every now and again a forward will lead into those low kicks. But I guess given the way North scored in the second quarter, it's a tactic worth persevering with.
And I think it's a better percentage. Force the shot from goal from 45 metres rather than the shot from 10 or 15.
You kick the distance, Roberts. He's brought it around, and he's brought it around enough for a goal. A steadier for North.
He's actually been a very good player today, Roberts. Kicked a couple of goals now, had a 16 possession, sort of floating around that half-forward line as the extra tall player. It's been a very valuable role that he has played for North Melbourne today.
Harvey busy in this lead-up. You saw that kick smothered, but he runs onto it here, and just a classy little left-foot kick just in front of Roberts. Takes it low. Roberts' kick was most impressive, right at the right-hand goal post, and just snuck in.
And Bell's hand pass that started that play, still say was a little bit doubtful, but he was able to get away with it. McKernan. But Roberts the steadier. Lyle drags it in underneath him. Braden, you'll have to get rid of it quickly. He does. It comes out the side, albeit not very far, and we will see a ball up. Good tackle by Brewer.
It's interesting, the Eustace Roberts. The Eustace is trying to just play basically where you'd play, probably 25 metres out for goal in the centre corridor. And Roberts is just trying to draw him away from that spot.
David King off.
Hasn't been able to find the ball today, King.
4 kicks, 3 handballs only.
Stevens got it out to Allison. He's enjoying playing in front of his home crowd, and Roberts, well, Mark Roberts missed the first part of the season through injury, but interestingly, and well, gee, it's good news for North Melbourne towards the finals, he's coming back to some of his best form.
Certainly is today, yeah.
And again, he was able to use all of that space to be able to slip back in front of North Melbourne's goals.
Kicked 2 goals, 1 today, Mark Roberts. 11 kicks, 5 hand passes, 7 marks, so not a bad day's work, and we're not halfway through the third quarter yet. Again, distance not a problem from there. Goal umpire hasn't moved, but he's second for the term.
Absolutely critical, absolutely vital in the context of the game, these last 2 goals for Roberts. Steadies North Melbourne. Port Adelaide were coming at them really hard. He's remarkable. He's 33 years of age. This is 194th game.
It's a big part of the equation of the North Melbourne team, because he does play. He allows McKernan sort of rucks, then goes forward, and Roberts can pop up the ground as midfield running ruckman, or he can actually be a goalkeeper. 3 goals today. It's been a terrific return forward of centre player.
And we saw then the space behind Roberts. He could comfortably go back into it. The kick from Allison was long.
14 points was the margin a couple of minutes back. With Roberts' 2 goals, it's out to 26 again, so North Melbourne seemingly with the answers so far. Laid off the ground. Well, certainly put Franco under pressure. He applies a tackle and could have almost been rewarded there for holding the footy against Shannon Grant, but the umpire has decided to ball it up.
Watch it here. He actually claims the player. It's a perfect tackle. No attempt to get rid of the ball.
Kernan bustled off it. Naish couldn't do much with it. Fabian Francis. Oh, too high, surely, against Winston.
A little bit rash, Winston. Enthusiastic, but rash.
Kingsley will take the free kick.
And
It's out of bounds.
Anthony Stevens hobbling quite badly around the centre-half back position. Still running, so maybe just got a knock on the leg.
Martin or Hewitt will take this free kick for out of bounds on the full. It's Hewitt. Hewitt in the right back pocket. McKernan up in front. Freeborn on the ground. Shannon Grant gets slung when he didn't have the footy. You get the free kick.
Yes, and surprisingly, North Melbourne persevered with McKernan in the ruck. They've got Capuano on the bench. Yeah, they'd be tempted to go McKernan at some stage in the forward line,
I
perhaps.
don't think he's marking the ball well enough. He really, I reckon he's pretty frustrated at the moment.
He's dropped a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's jumping at the ball, but just not holding the ball in his hands. His judgment and timing has just deserted him at this point of his career, just these last season or so.
Allison battling Fabian Francis, whose kick goes up and under. Well, they come from all directions. Pickett. Good tackle by Roberts. He
put him down.
Dumps a player to the ground. And the player is Stuart Dew, and you've got to be strong to do that. Dew, his immediate opponent. He spent a little bit of time on the bench. Port Adelaide not doing well on the road so far this year, but a neutral ground here. Against that, they've only won once at the MCG, so I don't think they would have minded coming up to the federal capital. Good tackle by Martin Pike.
Well, he just at the ground level, Corey McKernan doesn't look happy in himself. He just seems to be walking around the ground, doesn't seem to be no bounce in his body. He just seems to jogging along. He doesn't seem himself.
I think his confidence is at a fairly low ebb in terms of those points we talked about, that just feeling comfortable with your timing and your judgment and your ball handling.
Good ball handling by Pike to get it up in the Carey direction. He couldn't complete the mark. Huskis gives a hand pass away. They'll work it out of defence now through Bond, who got it from a teammate at half-back.
Good tackle, turn it over.
Kingsley, now Bell. This is Simpson. Simpson centering kick from him. Allison tried to get in from the side. Lay around Scholl. Wilson runs it out. Huskis says go. He does. Josh Franco on centre wing.
But Adelaide are looking okay, aren't they? They just need to convert those forward thrusts.
Donald Dickey.
Now, can kick a ball long if he decides to have a go.
That's 60 metres from goal. Need to be a good kick. That end does appear to be the main scoring end, although there's no wind advantage. Is that a kick?
The kick was okay.
The post.
Yeah. He unloaded.
He's a beautiful kick, Donald Dickey, and there it is. He's from 55, maybe even 60 there, and
just curled just a bit, didn't it? The natural kicking action was going to curl it from right to left across the body, but just didn't squeeze through.
Only 6 goals for the year too from the wing. You'd probably suspect he could produce a few more than that.
Pickett preparing to kick in. Official crowd, by the way, 12,242 here at Manuka Oval today. Chandler from halfback.
Interesting, wasn't it? He dropped behind Huskis, as we were talking about.
Lockwood, who's been good. Allison comes at him, kicks long. Martin, Fred Ray, Scott. He'll give it to Pike. Stevens, who looked to be injured before. See, that's nearly a throw by Dickey. Shannon Grant. Kickers up and under. Lockwood, oh, good hands. He'll give it to Kingsley. Port getting plenty of the footy. Need a big mark here. Nobody there to take it. Stevens rows it well ahead of Bell. Snaps it back towards the forward pocket, out of bounds on the full, over the head of Treadray and Martin. And Big Mick will take the free kick in the right back pocket for the Roos.
And Levy, you sense Wayne Carey just starting to get a little bit frustrated. Darren Mead's done a tremendous job. Carey only 5 kicks, 4 handballs for the game, and
had a good second quarter. He kicked there 7 and a couple of goals, a couple of marks. But this quarter, I don't think he's probably troubled the statistician at all.
This guy has. Mark Roberts.
This is the great thing about North Melbourne, though, I guess, to be 4 goals in front against a pretty good opposition when Carey hasn't had one of his dominating days is the kind of thing the coach is pretty happy with, I think.
Grant to Pike. He's like Mike's under a blanket. You stop one and somebody else comes out the other side. Tries to get around Dickey. Does so in the end, but only gets it back to Shannon Grant and turn onto Pickett. He gets around Francis. Franco comes at him. Kick is short. Simpson's got it off the edge of the centre square.
Just trying to draw the Port Adelaide defenders forward.
Kicks into the man on the mark. Now Carey. What can the King do? Left-hand hand pass from a standing start. Corey McKernan. That's as far as it's going. Laid. Paxman. They run it out well. Got to within 14 points of the power early in the quarter, but then up stepped Mark Roberts again. Kingsley's kick. Martin punches effectively. He'll get it back again. Got it to Pike, now Blakey. Johnny Blakey's had a great game.
Well done, Mead again.
Mead and Carey. Carey has to go for the boundary
A
line.
little push out of bounds. Have a look at this. This was fantastic defensive play, wasn't it? Just absolute percentages. Just got the fist in to spoil the mark. And then have a look at this little shove over the boundary line. Just make sure, let's draw the situation. Start again. Fair enough.
Francis. Fabian Francis has kicked Martin and Treadray. Martin this time.
Yes, he's just starting to push him under the ball, isn't he? Mick Martin's confidence growing after that first quarter when Warren Treadray was on top, but
It's been a good duel, Conti.
it has been, but Mick's just holding him out, forcing him under the ball.
Grant. Simpson, the fly from the back. In fact, the umpires paid the mark to Dew, who gets collected after he got rid of it. Bond, long hand pass to Dickey, around Pike, trying to set the play up to half forward. Big pack of players down there, and the Port markers to Lockwood.
He burst onto the scene as a first-year player in Port's debut year last year and just looked a really impressive play, but it's really taken him almost to the second half of the season to force his way back in. Conti, was there any injury problems early in the year that held him back?
He started with Central Districts, and that's his 9th mark today.
There have been some good ones too.
Actually, I'm not aware. There's a nagging thought in the back of my mind. Maybe he was restricted with the knee, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
35 metres out, directly in front. Port power crowd likes that one. It's a goal. So Lockwood gets his third. He becomes their leading goal kicker today. 3 out of 8, 8-12, and the difference back to 19 points.
Yeah, and good work by Donald Dickey. You just see sidesteps, comes inside, he looks up, he's looking. Well, I put it long, and Lockwood just with the sit gets off the ground just that fraction before his opponent, hangs in the air. Good hands.
Five and a half minutes remaining in the third quarter. 19 points again, the margin. So Port would love the next one going into the final term. McKernan out of the centre, did well. Bombs it up towards half forward. Simpson the target. Roves it well. A little chip shot to Roberts again. He might get another one.
That was so clever. That was great vision. He's a left footer, so he's got to get it to the centre on his right and just put enough on it.
Yeah, this was a good pass, wasn't it? And yeah, again, Bond just couldn't quite get there. But I thought when Dew actually tried to spoil, he might have just overplayed it a little bit. If he'd held back, he probably could have thumped the ball back upfield. But he's been a dangerous player, Roberts.
As he lines up, we see a change being made on Lockwood. Hewitt is off. Capuano comes on.
The fridge kicks, and I think he may have missed it.
Scratching his head.
Sure.
And that's why.
He's kicked it into the drip tray.
Into the what?
That's an interesting move. McKernan was actually going back to centre-half back on Treadray. Martin back onto Lockwood and Capuano into the ruck. You know, this will be interesting. Whether Treadray's mobility versus McKernan will be a plus for Port.
Laid, dispossessed.
Keeping Mick Martin at full back, though.
Yeah.
There he's just onto the ground. Capuano. Oh, they all leave it. Paxman in the end. Read it best for Port. To Dickey. Stevens a chance. Couple of bounces. Kicks from about 53 metres. That's a long kick. Going very close, but not close enough for Port. That's been the story of their day.
And Bowen Lockwood led beautifully to the pocket, and Nick Stevens elected to go long.
I've got him for 4 behind.
It's an interesting percentage, isn't it? Do you have a kick at goal from 50 metres or try and pass it? So the pass and the mark has to be converted. The percentages between the two bits of play.
I think once you cross 50, you have a shot at goal, but before that, if the lead's on, sure, use it.
Franco beats Chandler. Eagleton, nearly. Bell, tackled by Bode, who then goes at Pickett.
This is an interesting game now. The pressure is upped.
Capuano late on the scene there, but Paxman good enough to complete the mark. He's on centre wing. Now he'll go to Mead, the immediate opponent for most of the day for Wayne Carey. Huge pack, McKernan in front. And unlike Lockwood, not able to grab the marks today.
Carey's cruised into the back line there. I don't think he's so much gone to centre half back, just at this moment, as he will do in a game, is actually just gone back.
It's Kate Carnell, the ACT Chief Minister, keeping up to date from the footy record. What's happening here? Winston Abraham's at half back. Robert Scott. Roberts, geez, had a great third quarter. Absolutely sensational. Back to Scott. I think Huskus might have been moved onto him, has he?
King. What happened, of course, North Melbourne had absolutely nobody in their forward line.
Got sucked up again,
and Roberts was good enough to grab the mark, which dragged Huskus forward, and the King has just run so strongly. You see the space he's running into? And unfortunately, Braden Lyle not able to get there.
He just come on the ground too, Cornsey, David King for Glenn Freeborn.
Well, he ran hard. He saw the space there. He saw Roberts with the ball, and he thought, well, if I run into the space, he's a chance to give it to me. Now, can he kick the goal? He's not a renowned goal kicker, is he?
He's on the run. If he was running to this point of the ground, I reckon you'd back him. The set shots, isn't it amazing how the technique changes a bit?
7-8 for the season. 7 goals, 8.
And it might be 7 goals, 9, the way that one's drifting.
Yep.
It's a little lean to the right, as indeed the kick was.
One of those players who kick more behinds. There's not many of them kick more behinds than they kick goals for the season. Oh, they're away.
Eagleton to Wilson. Courageous grab. Great mark running with the flight of the ball.
A lot of space. Let's see how he uses this.
Kingsley provides the shepherd for him. Terrible kick. Well, couldn't have been worse.
Yeah, he tried to drive the ball to the front of the goal square where Lockwood was, but just mistimed the kick.
And he knows it too. He's such a fine young man. He realised he's messed the kick up. He had Lockwood running to the head of the square, just pushed it too hard.
Well, if they can get the next goal, Port, and it'll be under 3 goals at three-quarter time, they're in with a chance. McKernan.
It's interesting, as we said, Carey's just moved into defence. Mead's gone down with him, but I think it's a good move. Just try and make sure that Carey doesn't get a few cheap possessions across half-back to get his confidence going again. And so I think Mead might just basically go with him the majority of the places on the field.
Shane Bond off, Fabian Francis on, Brett Allison off. Glenn Freeborn coming on.
Bell to Stevens. North got it out of defence. Abraham. Long in the Roberts direction. Dew can't catch him. Roberts at goal, and the behind are out of bounds. It's out of bounds on the full. So after an excellent start goal-wise for the refrigerator, he's kicked rather inaccurately there. And of course missed one he should have kicked a couple of minutes back.
Port Adelaide have started to work it out, Lee, haven't they? They just worked out where they should be in defence.
Huskus. Long kick to half forward. Scott. To Stevens. Around Brewer. And that's okay. Shannon Grant doesn't let him down at half forward, but he's a long way from goal, Shannon Grant. Decides to give it to somebody who can kick long, Wayne Carey. He puts...
Winston Abraham special, the big run, a big launch, and a big grab.
Well, he said Lockwood took the mark of the match, but have a look at this.
You know, my first instinct was he's going to give away the free kick because he went so early.
Went too early.
But he just hung up there. He stayed up there till the ball came.
That is Australian rule.
Well, that's about his 6 nominations for the Captain's Mark of the year, I reckon. He win it on weighted numbers.
Deserves a goal, and he's got it.
Winston Abraham, how exciting. And you've got to ask, what's he doing at North Melbourne instead of being at Fremantle?
Yeah.
It's amazing how a change of club can revitalise a player, but he just has so much ability. The kick from Carey wasn't good. He goes early, he stays there.
Came in from the side.
He goes again. He stayed there and went again.
Held his body up.
Somebody said it was all the hot air that emanates from Canberra that kept him up there. But Winston Abraham, what a screamer for Another dig or go at the Cadbury Mark of the Year. Chandler to Capuano. His kick to half forward, so it's difficult for Port now. Huskis from half back. In the last minute of the third quarter, they got to within 14 points early in the term, but they really haven't been able to go on with it. Mark Roberts answered quickly for North, taken over the boundary line by Donald Dickey on centre wing, and they've been able to consolidate to get the difference back to 26 points.
Shannon Grant's been very good again. 23 possessions before three-quarter time. Couple of goals. Very valuable player he's become.
Capuano to Stevens, offloaded. Some soccer tactics, get the ball a little bit further forward for Port Power. And it came from the boot of Michael Wilson, but it is out of bounds right in front of our commentary position.
I tell you what, though, it's one of the more absorbing tactical battles in a game of football we've seen, particularly how Port Adelaide are addressing their defensive role and making North Melbourne work hard for their goals through half forward.
Lade knocks it forward. Chance for Bode to pick it up. But there's the siren for three-quarter time. And, well, it will be remembered, if for nothing else, by that great mark near the end by Winston Abraham. 12-15-87 North Melbourne, leading Port Adelaide 8-13-61. That's a margin of 26.
And Lade, though, as Lee's made the point. And in fact, with Lockwood in really good form in the forward line, it's probably not a better. It probably is a better balance for them.
Start of the final quarter. Port need the goals early. They're trailed by 26 points. But we know they're a great fighting side. Can they come back? Kingsley has the ball pinned underneath him. The umpire will ball it up again, just wide of the centre circle.
And again, Port Adelaide trying to drag Mick Martin away from the goal square, but Dennis Pagan having nothing of it and moving Michael Martin back to full-back, Corey McKernan to centre-half back.
Gee, might have been a free kick to Lade there. In fact, it has been. He was taken high. A little give to Kingsley. Port swing into attack. Brewer. Oh, you've got to keep your feet. Shannon Grant did that. Shane Brewer couldn't. Came again, though. Kick comes out to Simpson from Freeborn. It's on centre wing. Simpson again from a standing start. He bombs it up towards the 50-metre line. Carey nearly had a go at his opponent down there, Mead, who's done a very good job. Stevens. Carey. Gets it back to Pike.
They do very well, North, don't they? I mean, when the players have been short, they've used them enough. They've worked it out well, whether the percentages are to kick the space or to actually use the player dropping forward.
Well, good long kick from Freeborn from about 55 metres. He's put it through for a goal. Terrific kick.
Yes, Glenn Freeborn, such an important player for North Melbourne in their premiership grand final game a couple of years ago. Has been on the outer a little bit. He hasn't played much football for them this year. Only his second game for the year, in fact, but that's a magnificent kick. And in the context of the game, an important goal. I know that's a cliche.
Sure
it was interesting, wasn't he? I mean, he dropped into space on the 50-metre line and he was used short. They didn't actually go long to the space because there was Port guys back. I think that's what makes North a good side. They can vary their approach depending upon the opposition setup.
Well, they're obviously practicing and rehearsing with it. The other teams generally have to react on the day.
32 points the margin now, and 9 North Melbourne players have scored goals, so it's really been a team effort, certainly up on the forward line. Simpson will give them another chance, and here's Roberts, arguably man of the match. Roberts could kick another one. It scrapes in for one behind. So yeah. Mark Roberts started with 3 straight. He's now got 3 goals, 3.
Carey about 20 metres from goal when Roberts got the ball, led strongly. It was a good lead, but all he was trying to do was lead the player away from the goal square. Roberts trying to put the ball over the back so it would run through for the goal. Not accurate on this occasion, but their forward line strategy is interesting. I don't know how it's going to withstand the scrutiny of coaches over the next 3
Well, I must say it's withstood it for a couple of months. I think they've been doing it for the best part of 2 months now, the kind of space forward setup that they've been playing today. And I've yet to see. I think Hawthorn had a reasonable response to it one game there when they beat them at Waverley, but generally it's worked well for the Kangaroos.
Due to Huskis. Huskis at left half back tries to draw a man, couldn't do so. Pickett takes it on the run, then loses it, applies a tackle on Bode. Franco, well shepherded, gets Port out of danger. He'll kick just past centre wing, a marking contest there. Blakey claims that Treadray's got him. Stevens from Simpson, written into the ground when he didn't have it. The hand pass comes out to Wilson, on a turn to Donald Dickey. Centering kick Dickey up in front of goal. Martin all over his opponent down there like a rash. He's given away the free kick to Lockwood.
Mickey won't like this because Mickey basically doesn't think there's any such thing as a free against him, of course. You've got to understand this, but I think even this one, I think he's given up gently this one. That he pushed back hard, Lockwood. He was good, didn't he? He made sure.
I don't think.
And I guess it was all over for goal.
I don't think there's much reason to protest.
Lockwood kicks from 20 metres and brings up his fourth, I think. Yes. Well, certainly on the scorecard, boys, he's been their most effective forward, hasn't he?
Well, I think he has been. He's taken 9 marks. Yeah. He's kicked 4 goals, and when the ball's gone forward, he's looked like he's had every opportunity of getting it. Now the ball comes out with quick hands here, good quick hands from Michael Wilson. Dickey really looked.
He had him cold, didn't he, Martin? But he just, I guess, that right arm over the shoulder was the one that conceded the free.
Well, still Port Adelaide won't go away. 17.5 minutes left in the match, so they're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Capuano's kick to half forward. That is a great mark to Bond, is it? Yes. Bond goes out wide, looks for, and may find Bode if he gets a good bounce. He does. Already a goal kicker. Started on the bench. Dickey is going to bring it into Kingsley. Oh, he was, well, he actually took off before he'd marked the ball. That was his problem. Grabbed by Harvey, and so the turnover comes to Pike. That may prove costly. Mead doesn't try to mark the ball, just slams it out and away from Carey. Simpson, that ground a little bit slippery. He slipped through, gets tripped over accidentally. Stevens has got it. He's got the ball pinned to him. That was a good tackle applied down there by Freeborn.
It was a great tackle. He just didn't have any choice.
Great play by Mead there, though. Carey's searching for his body all the time, and he was just a couple of yards off him and punched the ball beautifully.
He's been a terrific time with the punch, isn't he, Couch? It's a great skill, that defensive punch, the Djakovic-type thump from centre-half back, and Mood just does it to perfection.
He's just an unsung hero.
Scott to Abraham.
Fantastic player.
He plays on. He's gone out wide. Capuano is the target.
And he should be fresh.
And he goes to Stevens. Anthony Stevens.
Just have adjusted that quickly, North. The Port players are covering the space behind we were talking about early in the game, and now they're just starting to drop it short into players. They've really reacted very quickly to Port's defensive approach.
He'll be looking for Carey. Mead again does the good work. Mead hasn't had too many kicks himself. He gets that one to Donald Dickey. He's done a really good job on Carey. And by Carey's standards, they're fairly, well, ordinary stats. By his standards, that is. Pike. Scott. Robert Scott straight down the spine of the ground. Paxman caught underneath it. And he's taken another mark. Down there, Matthew Capuano. 55 metres out. North haven't got the height there, but it might bounce through. It did bounce through, but for a behind.
Well, what a shocking bounce.
He must have been tempted to try and mark the ball in Harvey. I don't think he quite knew, did he? Is it going to go through in the full? He just wasn't sure.
Taking his arms away.
Yeah, in the end he thought, I'll just try and protect it through, but that was a cruel bounce.
Kick comes to centre wing. Chris Naish. Under Wilson. And that was a little bit of a nudge. Might have been against Corey McCurtain. Quick kick by Lockwood going goalwards. And through for one behind.
McKernan, to me, Lee, doesn't look comfortable as a centre-half back, does he? And now whether they're putting him back there just to let him run at the ball, try and get some confidence back, which is often a strategy with coaches with key players who are down, but he's not comfortable as a key defensive player.
Well, I guess just at the moment, he just, as I said, we've said a few times, a bit ad nauseum, but he's just not judging the ball above his head at the moment. And of course, for a tall player, it's hard to mark the ball unless you can pick its flight easily.
Eagleton taken down by Chandler and Peter Bell. I think just back onto the ground to replace Stevens. That's Anthony Stevens. And
got behind again somehow.
Not Pickett, but Abraham.
The tackle turned it over, though, wasn't it? That tackle at midfield, was it Chandler, I think, that laid the tackle on Eagleton? That really created the turnover, and all of a sudden you open up, because I guess the defence has to come out a little bit when you got the ball. And quick turnover kills them on the rebound.
Well, it's a long time since I've seen a team create the space and then use the space as well as North have today.
Winston Abraham coming in for his 13th kick. He's taken 7 marks, one of which was an absolute beauty late in the 3rd quarter, and he's kicked his 2nd goal.
Yes, it's been a fantastic couple of recruits, haven't they? Grant, obviously they lost Swash to Sydney, so that was a swap of some degree. But with 31 goals to Grant and 33 to Abraham prior to today. A couple of those crumbing small forwards who can kick you 40 to 50 goals over a year are very valuable players.
Absolutely vital.
Speaking of players who've turned their career around, another one at North Melbourne is Martin Pike. Barney, he's made every post a winner after being at the crossroads football-wise. Bell out of the congestion in the centre to Carey. A little give to Shaw. This could wrap it up. He's missed.
That was a little give, wasn't it? Just a little, well, we'll assume it's a quick little handball. It was so quick, it was almost like the hand was quicker than the eye then. But one minute Carey had it in his hands, the next minute Shell. Let's have a look at this. Well, a very little handball.
Did Darren Mead have the right hand pin?
Might have.
I'd love to see that again.
Paxman. Short to half-back and Brewer. And Shane Brewer goes much longer. He's looking for Kingsley and he's found him on centre wing. Time, one of the enemies of Port now. Bond has to get in front of Carey. Still Bond. Carey to Pike. Player I was speaking about. Naish. Long time at Richmond. Played over 140 games with the Tigers. Kick up towards Lockwood. Now Mead might get the chance. Harvey. Mead applies the tackle. Grant's there. Abraham's there. Was pushed to the ground by Lyle. He's taken off that helmet. The kick before. Another little Carey hand pass. Harvey.
And a million of them forward to the ball here.
King should race in and kick the goal.
He said, I'm going to get the goal myself.
No worries. It's mine, boys. Put out your glasses.
No. Now that is not team football.
I'm not sure what that was. Mark Roberts was alone in the goal square, of course. But I think David King said, I haven't had much of the ball today. I'm going to print this one with my name. So he's actually ran in and kicked it. And Mead it. And
the handball.
look at that one.
Definite throw there. Mead coming off the ground as we speak. Now watch this.
Haven't they got a lot of players? Look, there's 4-1 here.
4-1.
And Paxman almost creates the turnover, but once Harvey was through, look, they're just everywhere.
Now there's a fine coming up here. There's a definite fine from the players for the team fund because there's no doubt the handball should have been.
I guess he could have missed the handball and missed the target, I guess. If you got the ball in your hands, you might as well kick it.
KB certainly would have kicked it. If you're watching Kev, good afternoon. Got the nickname Hungry, but David King's been watching him, I guess. Well, North doing it well now. Bell, long, that might bounce through. It does, but for one behind. Kicked by Peter Bell. 10 North Melbourne players goal kickers now. Peter Bell is not one of them.
I think this is the point, is that we've talked many times how good we think Wayne Carey is, but Mead has stopped Carey from being a very big influence on the game, but North have still had 34 scoring shots. They're a very high scoring team, Carey or not.
Mead probably troubled with that back injury that he's had and carried for quite a few months now.
Paxman trying to get it back to Naish. Ground slippery in spots. Back to Paxman in turn. Oh, chopping it off beautifully is Robert Scott at half-back. Scott gets it long. Back towards midfield, and that's okay. Laid. Donald Dickey, the target. He'll get around King, or in fact try to. Kicks from about 60 metres. Lockwood the target. Oh, good mark in front. McKernan, has he paid it? Well, that's been the story of his day. Now, Lockwood claiming a goal, Treadway claiming a goal, but it's a behind.
Oh, there's a lot of angst amongst those Port Adelaide faces, isn't there? But now this surely a mark. Surely a mark.
Well, went out, but
Gary
brought it down. Yeah.
Gary Ablett got mark of the year for less than that.
He did.
Lee, Darren Mead's got a sore right shoulder.
Sore right shoulder?
Yes. I'd love to see that again because that has to be a goal.
Yes, well, obviously the goal umpire didn't think so, but certainly it looked close.
Well, Both players kicked the ball.
That's not a mark either. Abraham kicks into the man in front of him. Opportunity for Harvey. Shannon Grant, no, it's going to be Abraham again. Gets it back to Harvey.
See what happens here.
Carey in front, knocks to the front. You give a little hand pass to Roberts, who was brilliant in the third quarter. One-on-one contest, Kingsley and Scholl. In fact, it's Daniels. He goes for the line and puts it through for a rush behind.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at that again.
There we see the line.
Treadray, first of all, has a ping at it. Then I think Lockwood.
Well, it's got to be.
Maybe the guy on the ground.
Maybe it was over the line, Cornsey.
Robert Scott.
No.
That's why they certainly
Robert Scott on the
adjudicated it anyway.
Yes, I didn't see him before. He's obviously got his hand to it.
We weren't exactly in the best position
No.
to make the call. I think the goal umpire was. That was one thing for sure.
Lyle to Bond.
And interesting, Paxman just came off the field a minute or two ago as well. So both Port's key defenders are going to finish the game off the field.
Abraham to King. Free ball!
You can't do that. You cannot do that.
It was a free kick for dropping too early. He brought it down.
He's taking it one hand.
It's a bit hard to say it's an unrealistic attempt if you end up marking it, isn't it?
Now look, you cannot do this.
He was early.
You can't do that on a footy field.
Warwick Kemper did.
Magnificent.
That's a terrific angle, isn't it? Just to follow the ball through. Will he run straight or will he try and come out and do the banana? What's he going to do here, Freeborn? Straight at it by the look of it. Great finish.
South Australian banana.
Got it off.
Check side, we would say. Oh, look, it was a magnificent mark.
Well, we've seen three beauties today. Lockwood first of all, then Abraham, and then that one from Glenn Freeborn. So the highlights package should be beaut.
Was a terrific mark, no doubt about it. And I love that shot. I love it when you can actually watch from behind a player through the goal. So I reckon that's a fantastic shot that our 7 cameras get for us. It's a fantastic, but certainly that's it. Terrific. Look at this. We can see exactly what he does. Terrific finish.
Cornsey, Maximus just come up for a rest.
Rock back on the ground and Pike off. Was it Couchy?
That's right.
Glenn Freeborn, boys, has just got that touch of magic about him. He hasn't played enough AFL footy. I'd like to have seen a bit more of him. It's his 48th game, but
His second game for the year, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Grant to Abraham to Bell. North Melbourne.
See, they're coming forward now.
Here they come. Abraham from 48 metres. He too has missed.
Well, I've seen a lot of footy, Cornsey, but I love it when a player like Winston Abrahams kicks that beautifully balanced, long 50-metre drop punt. It is a joy to watch, I find.
They just make
beautiful,
contact so sweet.
Yeah.
Kick out. Coming from Daniels. Well, as time beat Port Power, we've got 9.5 minutes left, really.
There's 8 goals in it.
Backing with me.
Eagleton. Carey nearly, and like Corey McCurtain, able to hold the mark that he normally would take.
I think that's an example of even great players. Confidence is so much a kind of minute by minute, quarter by quarter, match by match thing, and hasn't had a great day today, Wayne. He's been spoiled on most occasions by need. So when this ball is ready to drop into his hand, he'd take it, but his confidence not quite there today. But an anxious day, probably a bit anxious in the hands, and fumbled the mark. So each game's are different.
Scott's kick up and under. You'll get another chance. Not Scott, it's now Rock. It was Scott before. King loves to run with the footy. Collision out in front. Freeborn and Huskis is hurt, yes. So it's a foot race on centre wing. Should be a Port player to get there first. It is.
The boundary umpire.
He had the sun in his eyes.
The boundary umpire reckons he's waved the ball over the boundary line.
Well, he was in a good position.
Look at this. We've got a good shot of this.
Yeah, we do have a very good shot of it. Wilson really...
Oh, maybe there.
This one, is it? That one's over the boundary?
Yeah. Has to be because his leg's outside the boundary line. The ball moves outside his legs.
Comes back to Simpson. Decides to go short with the left and finds Carey. He's only coming in for his 7th kick today.
Yes, they're playing the game in zones, North Melbourne. There's a zone between centre and half forward, and that other zone just inside 50, and that big zone between the 40-metre mark and the goal square, and they're just kicking to the zone.
It's very rarely, because the ability to change you approach.
Yeah.
Or I guess what North have done today, sign of a good side, they've actually played the game according to the game at that minute.
Bell may become their 11th goal kicker if he's accurate. He's kicked something, I believe it's a behind.
Yeah, it's very easy just to have your game plan, and this is what we're going to try and do. But I think North are really very intelligent the way they've kicked it short if there's a free man, kicked it long if there's space.
Peter Bell complaining to the umpire too that the Port player went over the mark on that kick.
Lyle to Dickey. Brewer.
Talked a bit about Wayne Carey. He's had 7 kicks, as you said. He's also had 10 handballs, so he's only kicked 1 goal, but he's going to end up with 20-odd possessions as a taller forward. It's not a bad effort.
Martin punches, but Bode intercepts just on the boundary line. He's kicked a goal already for Port. That won't be a goal, I don't think. No, 1 behind. Kicked by Matthew Bode.
He's a busy player. He knows where the ball is. He has an instinctive ability to win it. He just needs a bit more confidence in his role in this side.
And the youngster. Johnny Blakey playing like a youngster. Dew gets the front position from Freeborn. Unloads with a hand pass. Shannon Grant accepts it at midfield, just wide of the circle. Back to Simpson. Simpson kicks inside 50. Punch away by Daniels.
Clever.
Harvey.
Clever by King.
Harvey from about 30 metres. Kicks the goal, and the game is certainly safe now.
Yes, now watch David King here. He's got good pace, he's leading the ball, but he looks back, he sees Brett Harvey, and Harvey with good leg speed. But
it's interesting the way where Harvey goes here too, as the ball's knocked away. Harvey comes to the defensive side of the contest.
He has a look, watch.
Just has a look.
Little tap.
Terrific play, wasn't it? And then a bit too much speed for Daniels in the race to goal.
Terrific tap by David King to get it to Harvey. And 11 North Melbourne players have now kicked goals, so it really has been a team effort on the North Melbourne forward line. Franco's kick, almost a butt ball to half forward. Good tackle by Pickett. Nearly had the turnover. And Rock congratulating for that effort on Kingsley. So a bounce. Check Fingleton scoreboard here at Manuka Oval. 17-22 North Melbourne, 9-16 Port Adelaide. So 54 points is the margin. Drew's just a little bit too superior, going for their 5th win in a row. Brewer takes it inside the centre square. A one-on-one contest. Treadray and Martin. It's a wrestle. Scholl. Roos with the numbers. Scott gets them out of danger. And it's Shannon Grant who marks in front of Shane Brewer. It's gone out wide to Blakey, who broke for him.
Carry off, Betty.
Blakey will kick the centre wing. And puts it out.
We've talked a few times about the timing and judgment of Corey McKernan. It's just not quite there. I wonder what they're doing at training. I would think he should just be playing kick to kick for half an hour a night, just long high kicks, just getting used to judging and jumping into the ball. I wonder what they're doing during the week of training with him.
You wouldn't want to do kick to kick, would you? If you're at the same end, they just jump on you.
No, I mean, not even with an opposition, just to get used to the judging the flight of a long high ball and getting used to jumping into it, hands up. He just looks like he needs a heap of that kind of work, doesn't he?
Martin to Chandler.
Or else get a coach to put a player to work with him and allow the player to let him mark. Tell the player, look, let him mark over you.
Chalmers' first mark for the day to Eagleton. Spent a lot of time on the bench. In fact, he's just come onto the ground. Stevens, no, he's out of bounds.
Well, this boundary umpire is not popular with the Port players. He's actually pinged another one for just margin over the boundary line.
Let's take a look at this one. I think this... Oh, gee.
That's not over.
That's literally a line ball, isn't it?
The ball has to be over.
Yeah,
Brewer tries to do a Gary Ablett. Might be able to finally kick it. He can't. Well, he kicks it, but he kicks it out of bounds on the full. So Mick Martin will gleefully take the free kick in the right back pocket for the Roos. Good deal with Treadray today, and the umpire telling him he's going to have to kick over the mark. So that means he's going to kick out to this side of the ground. Under 5 minutes remaining in this match.
Treadray put the pressure on Mickey in the first quarter, but I must say since then Martin has taken control of that.
Laid, big punch. Grant was there, so too is Scott. Unloads to Blakey, who never stops running. Gee, he looks fit. Roberts had a great third quarter. Winston Abraham, well, he's in for mark of the day and maybe mark of the year. Kicks up towards full forward. That's as far as it's going. Well, Port had their chances, didn't they? Third quarter, got within 14 points. And North, well, too experienced, and they've been able to go on.
The best news of the day for North, not only the win, but is the form of Mark Roberts. I think he's a bit of a very important player for North. In their premiership year, he did what he did today quite regularly. That extra player across half forward, the extra ball winner across midfield, and he's been pretty much missing through injury and other reasons. Pretty good news for the Kangaroos that he's looking in pretty good form today.
Naish's kick came to centre wing, now picked up by Braden Lyle. Lyle to the half-forward position. They come from all directions. The umpire decides to let it go. Blakey's kick this time, kicked into the man in front of him. King, whose work has been good. Fabian Francis soccers it forward. Good bump by Lockwood. Ball nearly trapped underneath. It's shuffled out to King again. Kicks through the hands of Dew to half-forward. North with the numbers. Roberts off a standing start. Up towards half-forward. Now a chance for Allison, who was in the play earlier in the match, the hometown hero. Harvey was there, missed it, and it will be a ball up just inside 50, inside the last few minutes of the game.
Well, Allison has been on the bench for quite a while in this quarter, and Dennis Pagan obviously saying it's your hometown, we'll give you the last few minutes on the ground. And interestingly also, Braden Lyle has taken off his head guard.
Yeah, he did that a while back, and I had to have a look twice to see whether it was him. Bell nearly tripped up. Hewitt kicks the goal. Hand pass from Allison.
That's beautiful.
Nice quick hands, wasn't it?
Taking use of the handball, just the swift, slick handball forward, and they had players running into position.
Yeah, they can kill you when they get on top, North. This is now a 10-goal win, 60-point margin. When late there in the third quarter, you said the comment, Pete, another goal from Port, they're in the game. They could be less than 3 goals.
Did the same to Melbourne,
They're
didn't
going to
they?
get beaten by 10. Gee, they can score once the game opens up and flows forward.
North Melbourne stepping on the accelerator, as they did against Melbourne. And despite the fact that this is a very big ground, there'll be some tired legs out there, but they're finishing plenty of running. Naish, past Bode, opportunity for Pickett. He'll give it to Bell. So a very fit side, North Melbourne. Their 5th win in a row coming up here. Simpson takes the mark just inside the centre square. Onto King, who, like Blakey, just keeps running all day. His kick down towards full forward. Harvey might have been taken high. And the umpire says he was taken high. It will be a free kick.
Gee, I'd love to see this. I reckon he makes contact with the ball, doesn't he?
Well, the arms ball, I mean, you'd think that should be a legitimate defensive spoil. I mean, you've got to try and spoil it. I mean, there was a sort of bit of arm, bit of ball, bit of...
Yeah, he's come from behind and perhaps the upper part of his arm has made contact with the head, but gee, insignificant contact. The fist made contact with the ball, which was the significant thing.
Stephen Daniels giving away the free kick. Harvey, the recipient, about 30 metres out. And he has missed. So Port Power fans saying poetic justice.
Yes, they would never agree. Here it is again. Now let's just have a look. It's
well, it certainly was high contact, but I guess in the sprawling motion, there's often a lot of high contact, isn't there?
1 goal 3 against Harvey's name. Brewer to Franco. And they go straight down the ground now, that's as far as they're going. Blakey again. Decides to play on, he'll get it to Scott.
Now why can't he play on?
I think he was off the line is what the umpire played, but I think he's decided not to be pedantic and let it go in the end.
Very quickly back on it. King, tackled well by Stevens. And the umpire has rewarded him for a good tackle, and Stevens will take the free kick at centre field for Port Power. Just over a minute to go in this match. Stuart Dew. Hand pass could have been a little bit better. He'll get it back again from Lockwood. Dew to Kingsley, 20 metres out, and closing, he kicks a goal.
Good build up, it was hard work. They certainly had to follow up the shorter gives, but Stuart Dew involved. He hasn't had his best game today. Just sees it's only his 13th possession, but Lockwood involved. Dew back, goes again, and just opens up the goal face for Kingsley beautifully. Not a difficult goal there, but created by some good quick gives and some good follow-up by Stuart Dew.
Before the match, Port Power was 2 points outside the 8, so their chances of playing in September haven't really been improved by the upcoming result. They'd need to make every post a winner, you would reckon, from here on in. And a big win from North could go to second, depending on the result at Football Park tonight. Franco will certainly be a percentage booster for them. McKernan finally does snaffle a mark with those big hands of his. Bell, whose work at ground level today has been pretty good, gets around Franco to Shannon Grant, who's having a particularly good part of the season. On to King. Punched away by Daniels to Stevens. Now Huskis. Huskis transfers play to the outer side. And Josh Franco. Bell in front. And they come from behind. Punch away by McKernan. He tried to get it to Grant, but Dickey was there and saw it over the boundary line. Last few seconds of the game. As I said, it will be a good percentage booster for North Melbourne. And they've really shared it around in front of the goal face. 11 players have scored goals. McKernan and Lockwood. And that's...
Well, the Port runner hasn't given up. David Arnfield is striding manfully out. There's, 4 seconds to go, and he's still trying to make changes. Just see him coming to picture now.
I don't think he'll quite get there before the siren. Franco goes for the boundary line. Brewer's tackle may have been a little bit high, but that's the end of the contest at Monica Oval. An historic day and an historic win. Dennis Pagan will be happy. He's got the 4 points.
I think more relieved than happy. It was always a risk coming to Canberra, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to stay at the MCG. The club